AFC South, you're never too far from the top or the bottom.
But the Jacksonville Jaguars now are the favorite. Now they're the hunted instead of being the hunter, having won that division last year in the final week of the season, having to beat the Tennessee Titans with one Joshua Dobbs starting at quarterback. And that was a close game, too, by the way. That was not a blowout. That game was in doubt until the final few minutes of the fourth quarter.
Until a Dobbs sack and fumble.
Yes.
That's what turned the game around. And that's why I think a lot of people are overestimating the Jacksonville Jaguars going into 2023. Don't forget, 2 years ago, the Jaguars were 3-14. Now, I know Doug Peterson came in, he turned around Trevor Lawrence, and the Jags went 9-8. But Wes, the Jags had to win 5 in a row at the end of the year just to get to 9-8 in the worst division in the NFL, and they faced 4 really weak quarterbacks during that 5-game winning streak at the end. I think when you're looking at regression candidates in the NFL, the Minnesota Vikings and Jacksonville Jaguars are at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'm with you. And one of the things now that you got to consider about the Jacksonville Jaguars, the offense is going to be good. Trevor Lawrence is going to continue to develop. Now they have ATN. Of course, he came back from that Lisfranc injury the year prior. But the entire receiving core also back. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Marvin Jones. They also had Calvin Ridley from that suspension. Brenton Strange in the tight end in the second round from Penn State. Tank Bigsby is going to be the short yardage back they drafted in the third round out of Auburn. However, the offensive line is an issue for this team.
Yes, it is.
No offensive lineman on the Jacksonville roster had a PFF grade in the 50th percentile or better last season. Brandon Scherf got signed to all that big money by Trent Baalke. He had the worst season of his career. Cam Robinson is likely going to be dealing with some kind of suspension early in the season. So the rookie they drafted out of Oklahoma is going to have to produce right away. And then I look at the defense. They're pretty solid against the run, but they don't get enough of a pass rush. Josh Allen only had 6 sacks last year. Trayvon Walker only had 3.5. Devin Lloyd, the other first-round draft pick for Jacksonville, he got benched for 2 games. Wasn't very good. They do have Olakun, who led the NFL in tackles 2 straight years, but not a lot of them are beyond, where they've already gained a bunch of yardage. They're not exactly tackles for loss. So Jacksonville was 29th on third down defense, 25th in red zone defense, and 30th in pass defense DVOA. And I don't think they did really much to improve this defense at all.
Exactly what I was thinking about a month ago when I was doing some research on the Jaguars. Again, this is a team I think that's got could be facing major problems with its offensive line.
Also a tougher schedule this year. They got to play Kansas City. They got to play Cincinnati. They got to play Buffalo, San Francisco. So you win that division, you got to play other division winners. And I think Jacksonville, too, Matt, had a lot of injury luck. That the other team up there, the Tennessee Titans, did not. They had the worst injury luck in the league.
It was all bad luck with injuries for the Titans. The Jacksonville defense allowed 6,006 total yards. That ranked 24th in the league. Wes, I thought the biggest problem, and you mentioned it, the Jags don't put enough pressure on the passer. And I think some of these young defensive linemen or pass rushers that they have drafted haven't really produced and put up the numbers. And I'm not surprised at all that Trayvon Walker is not putting up the sack numbers because he didn't do it at Georgia either. I think he was drafted more number 1 on potential.
Right. It wasn't on production because if they were going production, they would have went with Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan, who had a very good rookie season for Detroit.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.